Alright, Pisces. Hey, new moon. Sorry, I had this is a restart of your video. Um, Maybe I'll actually include it. This guy just randomly stopped by my window when I was getting ready to talk to you guys and thought I was praying. Interesting for Pisces, right? Anyway, so you guys are like, hi Pisces. Hope this new moon in Libra wasn't too hard on you. So just keep in mind, I know that the video is a little late. I will have them up earlier going forward, but you know, we are talking about a moon cycle here, right? We're not just talking about the day that the new moon is in Libra. We're talking about like the new moon to the full moon, right? So that period of growth, of expansion, of all that stuff. And the energy of the new moon just kind of kicks it off, right? It's all about potential and laying seeds and plans and all that stuff, right? And as the moon grows, you can bring things into fruition. So for you guys though, this new moon has been a little difficult for a lot of the signs. I think of the readings I've done, there's one, Cancer, who's kind of getting off easy, but I think it's because they've been going through it for so long that this is almost like they've been doing the work. And Pisces, I think what's going to be happening here for this moon cycle is that you guys are going to have a lot of work to do. First card, current situation, the devil. Like, what's haunting you guys right now? That's what I feel when I see this. It's like something is like hovering around your like psyche, like a demon, like, but in the more figurative sense, like how we say we have our demons, you know? Like, what is, there feels like there's something that's weighing you down and bogging you down. Something that you can't shake free of. Which is a perfect segue to talk about the Libra new moon, because we talk about balance, we talk about harmony, we talk about relationships. Also, we have Jupiter in Scorpio, and we're about to be entering Scorpio season, which is going to have a lot of really intense energy. Jupiter and Mercury in Scorpio kind of brings things up, like the muck, like we get to see the truth of things, right? And Pisces, I think what this moon cycle is asking of you is to like get honest about this. Like, what is sucking the life out of you right now? I feel like for most of you, it's a combination of things. I think it's like a little bit job stuff, a little bit relationship stuff, like just things like your mind. This makes me feel like your mind is just so heavy and dark. Right? So what I'm feeling for you guys is we have the full moon in Taurus in November, right? And to me, I think that's going to bring good things your way. I think that Venus warmth is going to be coming into your life, right? Look, we got justice, we have balance, right? So the new moon in Libra is not about being balanced, it's about having to balance, like the act of balancing, right? Of kind of course correcting is what I feel with justice. But this is Libra. This is what I'm asking of you guys, to be honest. Specifically though about your connections. Like the devil also represents like our connections to people and situations and substances and stuff like that. Unhealthy connections, which is perfect because exactly what Pisces is going to have to be dealing with is assessing your connections and like getting real with yourself and saying like what connections are draining the fuck out of me and which like are kind of filling me up, making me feel good, right? Because like I was saying, when we get to the Taurus full moon, I think that Venus warmth is going to make you guys feel all good and fuzzy inside. I think it will, but the only way that's going to happen though, guys, is if like you get real and do the work right now. That's my sense for you, is like there's work to be done right now, otherwise you don't get to enjoy all those good feelings that are potential or are possible, right? And I feel like that shouldn't be hard for you. I don't think you guys are a sign that's like particularly like you can get lost in fantasy land, but I don't think you're necessarily like super self-delusional. Like how perfect the Queen of Swords. Justice and the Queen of Swords, like the Queen of Swords just does what's right and what she has to. Right? Even if it's painful, like she's cutting, like this is you guys cutting cords. Like this is the energy you're embodying. And look, but it's the suit of air, which is not Pisces. You guys are water. Right? You usually deal with things more from here. But again, balance, like balancing is like doing the thing you're not as used to doing, right? Like if you have to balance something, it's because like you're too far in one direction and you're used to doing things a certain way, and now you got to change your ways. Like this is saying like this is what have we been talking about? What a beautiful card for just like straight to the point honesty. And you know, I think this is an acting moon cycle for you, in the sense it's not just about going in and getting deep and like reflecting. It's about doing things. Like the Queen of Swords, she acts on what she knows is right. Like she has that sword of justice and will swing it when she knows she has to. And can it be considered a little harsh or cold? Like maybe, sure. But it's like so honest and so healthy and so good for you. Like how can it be bad? Even if it's like a little unusual for you to do, to be all head like that, and then to act on your instincts, not your like intuition, but like those self-preservation instincts. And you guys care so much about other people, but like that's fine. I remember someone told me once, it's like you're not wrong to give of yourself to other people, but if that is who you are, like you have to make sure you're giving to the right people, right? Like if you're going to give it to people who are going to accept it, who are going to appreciate it, and to give back. Like Pisces, who's not giving back in your life? Like I feel I just got a sense like this is jobs too. Like where are you not getting your recognition? Where are you giving all your energy and people are taking and taking and taking? And like where's your payoff? And justice to me is all about the payoff. Like this is karma. This is like reaping what you've sown. This is fate, right? And this is where you're aligning yourself with, right? By taking these actions now, you're aligning yourself better with your fate from like people who are maybe putting you on the wrong fucking path. Like think about advice that people have given you. Think about the way people have been treating you and the things they've been saying. Like you guys are pretty intuitive. You can probably figure out like, and you're good judges of people usually, right? Like I think one of the ways that Pisces is like emblematic of that water sign intuition and like psychicness is when it comes to other people and like relationships and judging people and their energy. Like you guys are kind of empathic. So it shouldn't be hard. Like the hard part is going to be acting. It's not going to be knowing. I think like you already know. Like the Ten of Wands. What did I start off saying here? Like what is haunting you? What is this? Like I feel like for most of you guys, this is something like super specific. Like everybody who saw this card and heard what I'm saying, like the first thing that came to your mind is like probably the obvious thing, right? Like this is not like obscure. That's why I said I don't think you guys have to think about it much. I'm sure you could say in a second what like these burdens are that you're carrying. But like the Ten of Wands, like they're self-imposed. That's again like the second card here about somebody's demons, right? The shadow self of like you and how you feel and like what you have in your life and what you allow in your life and what that does to you in your mental state. See, so for Pisces, we have very we don't have any cups. Like I'm not feeling any water energy here. I think that's the balance that is coming for you guys. I think that It's going to be a departure from like your emotional self. And not that you can't like act like, oops. Oh, two. Nice. Okay. So I was just gonna say, like, there are no cups, and then look at the card that comes up for cups. The Seven of Cups. Like, this is Pisces fantasy land. You know, this is like, you guys are just like not being real. Like, you fill your head with all these like delusions, and then like that's what this is. Like, imagine like all these delusions are this guy, and it's like about a person, or I think it's a person, maybe a situation, like I said, work, but I feel like even that, like, it's person based. Like, there's a person who is like holding you back or like putting too much on you or something like that. But then at the end, what also fell out, you got strength. This is the energy that's going to be available to you to tap into if you want to. This is what you're being called on to do. Like, this is what the cards are saying right now is like the energy you need to call on. Strength. And my sense with this card is like, it's not even... I'm trying to think about what kind of strength we're talking about, because that sounds all really vague. What I see from this card is just like a free flowing of energy. Like her cup, her hair, like what that's making me feel like for you guys is this like, what we've been talking about this whole time about, you don't even have to think that hard about it. Like, whatever's bothering you is readily apparent. Like, the actions you have to take are readily apparent. When I say flowing energy, it's kind of like just letting that happen. It's almost like you don't even have to try that hard. You just kind of have to get out of the way and let it happen. I bet this like job situation, for instance, is something that maybe you're clinging to, right? Or the person who is like sucking the life out of you is someone that you're clinging to. Or an idea, or like a wish or a dream that you're clinging to, right? So like the action is almost like very passive. It's just about like unclenching your fists. Like kind of just going with the flow of what's natural right now. What feels natural, like what do you feel like in your heart and soul is your path? And like, you know whether you're on it or not. And if you're not, which it doesn't look like you are, because there's all these calls to like snap the fuck out of it. Like, snap the fuck out of it. Like, all you have to do is like kind of just passively let it go. And I think you're going to get validation for that, right? Like, I think that what I was saying before about the Taurus new moon, like, it's such a sensual sign, Taurus. And I feel like that's where you're going to get, like, companionship. You're going to get satisfaction from, if you're in a relationship already with the person you're with. I don't feel like it's going to be new relationships, but, like, even just, like, I don't know, a nice night with whatever you want to call a lover situation, right? Like, I feel like heart fulfillment there. But how can you do that if you don't like drop this, right? Like, how can you enjoy that if you're not like being her and just fucking acting? Like, I know you guys care about yourselves a lot. And I'm not asking you to be like too harsh, just like a little bit. One path, we have the Hierophant. Sort of in a way connected to this card, the Justice, where we're talking about like the greater will being manifested. So this right now, at first I felt like, oh, I don't know if I like that for Pisces, because it felt like super conservative, you know, and like slow and like kind of sticking to the status quo. And I'm gonna pull the second path card just to see like the contrast and get a better understanding of where that falls in here for you guys. But at the same time, I feel like the Hierophant could kind of be like Pisces, like living the life they're supposed to. You know, that flowing that I was talking about, like just sort of pure manifestation of like the will of a higher power, but like it's basically yourself and your instincts, right? Like if you're not a religious person, so it's about course correcting and how you course correct right now. Look at who's traveling with you. Look who you're keeping close. Look who you're like giving your energy to. I promise, like I feel so deeply in my heart that like you're gonna know exactly what we're talking about. So this is more along the lines of what I want to see for Pisces. Queen of Cups, right? Like, remember the flowing I was talking about? Like, this is just her intuition and like all those great like cups qualities of like psychicness and love and intuition like flowing and forming like with the water. Like, do you see what I was saying with like the flowing? And like there we got our two little fish, you cute little Pisces. She's like in charge of her emotions. She's not blocked off. Like this again, like there's where I was seeing in the Hierophant, like that sort of stiffness. Like almost like this taken too far. To the point where you're powerful and in charge and living your life and doing good things, but like I feel like this isn't who you are, if that makes sense. It's almost like becoming powerful, but like you're staying in this the whole time. So like even though you're here, it's not like if this was reversed, right? I don't read reverse, but like now the context here is like, imagine if this energy that I was talking about in the good way like was blocked, like not being able to really manifest your will or the will of, you know, what's meant to be. But here you go, the Queen of Cups. Like, just because people are dicks, Pisces, like, you can't lose this, right? Like, we don't want to see Pisces become less sensitive because being sensitive hurt too much, right? That's, like, the worst thing I would want to see for you guys. Because that's not just not who you are. Like, look at the crab coming out of her cup. Like, this is, like, potential. This is, like, you guys living dreams and like creating like beautiful, comfortable environments for the people you love. You know, like the Hierophant can still win over the devil, right? Like, I don't feel like ultimately no matter what happens that like this guy's gonna win, but I think that the emphasis is on what it's going to do to you. Does it make you powerful? Does it make you more of a conduit, a channel for like your highest power? Like, do you get back on your path? Do you course correct in the right, honest way? Or do you kind of like keep doing this and living in this until like you lost a lot of your heart? Like the Hierophant is extremely spiritual, but he's also like I was saying, conservative, a little rigid, a little stuck in his ways, if you will. Like, contrast that with like the flowing, growing, progressive, always getting better, always improving, always like expanding Queen of Cups. Like, keep your eye on that prize, Pisces. Like, that stuff you want, like that comfort that I was talking about earlier, like that love, that companionship. I feel like companionship, I don't know why that keeps standing out in my head, like not necessarily love, like not necessarily romantic love. I don't think like that's gonna be what stands out to you. Like, even if you are in a relationship right now, I don't think that's like where the relationship energy that I'm talking about is really gonna go. So we'll pull like 2 or 3 more outcome cards, see what we get, and then we'll clarify, and then I'm gonna send you guys on your way to like do your damn thing. To hustle, hustle, hustle. First outcome card, the Star. Like, what an amazing, beautiful sign for you guys. The Star, what I was saying about expansive, about loving, about free-flowing, like powerful, dynamic energy. Like, this bodes really well. Like, I feel like you guys are gonna do it. And it's almost like you have no idea how happy you're even gonna be. Like, that thing that I said is haunting you, whatever that is, like, when you address it, some lingering dream or idea even, or if it's not like a person, like something that maybe you've been wanting to do that you just haven't acted on. Cool. I like this for you. The Hermit. This is why I guess I was talking about companionship versus relationship energy, because even though we are talking about our romantic relationship energy, even though we are talking about how you relate to people, like, it's about you ultimately. And when you deal with friends, when you deal with coworkers, like, you're dealing with them as your own independent person. You know, like, that's different from being a partnership. A lot of majors here, guys. The Star, the Hermit, Strength, Justice, the Hierophant, the Devil. Like, I'm not saying all your problems are going to be over with, but I feel like if you guys just really push through the next 2 weeks, I really feel like by the full moon, something big in some way is going to take hold. Even if all that it is like how you feel about yourself, and one day you realize in 2 weeks, like things are better than I thought. Like, I'm happier than I thought I was going to be. I feel better about myself than I have in a long time. Like, contentment, home, and like all your work paying off. But like in real ways. Right? So like, I feel like if it is a job situation, it could be like getting a new job or getting more money or something like that. Or if it is a relationship situation with like a bad friend, like getting to a point where they're not in your life and you forget about them more, and then before one day you know it, you're having that feeling I was just describing of like, holy shit, I feel great. Underlying it all, Pisces, at the bottom of the deck, you have the Five of Wands. Like, just people fucking with you. And more importantly, I feel like you letting people fuck with you. Like, sure, maybe you fight back, but like, it feels almost very reactive. if that makes sense. Like, you guys are just dealing with too much bullshit from too many people. Like, you're not happy with what's surrounding you. Like, whether it's your family or your friends or your lovers or your job, like, whatever's surrounding you is, like, oh, not comfortable. And, like, that's where we want to get you guys to. To, like, this, like, empowered, free-flowing, like, energy again. Like, Scorpio season with Jupiter and Mercury and Scorpio, like, it's a good time to, like, work on this, right? Because, like, Jupiter is a pretty kind planet, right? But in Scorpio, it's going to be very intense. But I still feel like the sense is, like, if you weather it, like, what you get at the other end is, like, so worth it. We have the sleeping man, the unconscious. What I'm feeling about this with you guys is, like, two things. One, like, you aren't really, you don't have your eyes open, right? Like, you're kind of not being honest or real. But also, this is about tapping into, like, this thing that I was talking about that flows freely from you. You know? Like, your deepest wishes, like what is honest, what is true, like, within your soul, within your heart. Like, who are you deep down there? What, like, needs and desires or wishes have you been, like, suppressing? You have trees and community. You know, for the full moon, I talked to you guys about, like, the Grigio girls, like, you know, your group of people who are, like, there for you and holding you up. And I feel like this isn't just, like, friends, though. This is, like, more concrete. Like, this is Pisces going to workshops or meditation classes or group therapy or, you know, like, a very specific kind of support system that feels like more than just, like, your friends. It feels like a group that you would belong to, if that makes sense in some way. That, like, pushes you. Like, if this is a spiritual group, like something at church, if you go to church, if you know, you go to, like, some local center or some kind, I don't know, Pisces, like, you know what I'm talking about. But it is about, like, that support, right? And, like, one infected tree is going to get all the other trees infected, right? So it's kind of about, like, pruning your own community, like, who is close to you, what energies you allow close to you. Because look what we have next, guys. Like, detoxing with the frog, resting like a fucking bear, and then timing. Like, the moon cycles are just moving things forward, and you just have to be kind of a little patient about it and let things happen. But, like, this is one of my favorite cards. Like, I love just the sense that the frog brings of, like, getting clean, like, inside and out, like, energetically detoxing. It just feels good, you know. But I think also the implication is, like, you still got some stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it slow. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, understand that what you're doing is going to take time. It's going to take time. Like, take care of yourself, Pisces. Like, I think a good analogy here is like we're gonna be in winter in like 2 months. So, since we're talking about the new moon and planting seeds, right? Like, what happens during the new moon in a sign, like, often comes to fruition when the next full moon is in that sign. And the new moon in Libra is now, and the full moon in Libra is going to be in Aries season, March, April, which is the spring. So really think about, like, what you want your life to look like around that time. And, like, give yourself that time. Like, this isn't an overnight process. You know what I'm saying? Bottom of the deck. Healing. Like, letting yourself shed that old skin. That's what you get, right? So, Pisces, I mean, what I kind of want to say in summary here is, like, address this, like, now. Like, address it. I don't care if it's scary, you have to. Because you're too far gone in this, in the illusion. And, like, you're off path, and you guys need to get back on path. Like, look at what's waiting for you when you do. Right? So again, like, this has got to go. It's got to go. And it's not going to be that hard. Like, let me take that back a little bit. I want to give you guys credit because this is going to be work. But I guess what I say when it's not going to be that hard is that, like, it should almost come a little naturally if you just, like, let it happen. Right? Like, it's not going to require much of an external effort on your part. Like I said before, like, it's almost like passive. Like, all you have to do is get out of the way of this thing that's already happening and let it happen. And then you heal. But again, remember, like, set goals for like 6 months from now. That's a nice amount of time where, like, you can give yourself some slack, but also, like, 6 months ultimately won't be that long. So you're still gonna have to, like, get your shit together. Right, Pisces? Okay. Well, I hope this has given you a little bit of something to work with. I hope that, like, you guys recognize, like, how beautiful your sensitivity is. And how, like, great that can be. And, like, not that you guys can't get nasty. Everybody can. We're all human, right? But, like, when you're at your best, you guys are just, like, I just feel like this queen, like, wrapping her arms around, like, all the people she loves. You're, like, that source of comfort to people. And I think you like that, and you know it. You like to be, like, that emotional rock. But be it for yourself first, because Scorpio season is gonna, like, churn those waters. And you have to be able to weather it. And you can't weather it if you're not strong. If you're not, like, stable. Okay? Great talking to you guys. I will see you in 2 weeks. And talk more. And I don't know what else to say to you guys. So bye. Hey Pisces. Hope you guys had a happy new moon. I'm sorry the video is a little late. In the future, I'll make sure they're all up before the moon cycle starts. But just keep in mind that what we're doing here is not just for the day that the moon is in Libra, but
Green?
yes.
That's right, my nigga.
Thanks, dude.
I don't want to interrupt you. Muslim?
No.
Where you from?
I'm from New York. Where are you from?
Out here.
Gotcha. It's a cool place.
Huh?
So it's a cool place. Cool place.
Out here?
Yeah.
Mediocre.
Yeah. Alright, man. Take care. Interesting.